No, it's actually more similar to your story than you may realize because I was on the chopping block in my mind, at least at the pharmaceutical company. I came into a top three pharmaceutical manufacturing company out of college. Life was great. Then you had healthcare reform come into place, and it started becoming a bureaucratic government job essentially. And I started to hate it. And I'm a very passionate, hardworking, hungry fellow, Gino, hungry fella. And ultimately, I just thought that, man, this personality no longer fits with this culture. And at some point, I'm going to say something they don't like, or I'm going to say, hey, we got to do this for more growth. And they're going to fire me. And I thought we're going to go to one of these conferences because they was flying you out a couple times a year for the annual sales conference or whatever. And I was just starting to become like that black sheep. I was the oddball out. I no longer fit into the new culture. I just wasn't a conformist to that point. So at the time I was, hanging out with Gino, his brother Marco, and I was, basically doing lunches and promoting the pharmaceuticals I had to Dr. Neshi, as Gino said. And it was almost like the universe was pushing me towards real estate because I was very hungry. And that's one of the things I fear the most is that I was so hungry when I was younger. And I hope I never lose that because I think that's one of the probably driving factors of my success. But I'm in there having lunch, with Dr. Neshi, just absorbing the information, eager beaver, and he's telling me that, hey, Jake, if I was to give you any advice, it would be to go buy a duplex. And this is a guy that never sold out his business during all the, kind of businesses. All basically what happened. I'll just break it down for you. Back in, I don't know, 2006 to 2010. All the small mom and pop doctors got bought up by medical groups, and this was the only guy left in my territory who didn't, and it was because he owned real estate. He had his autonomy. He was still practicing medicine because he wanted to. And so I had Gino, who was in my ear about real estate. I had Dr. Neshi, and all I knew that I needed to do something different because I was about to get fired, and it was a self-preservation move. So that's essentially how I got pushed into this multifamily game.
Jake, you said
Long
the
story
word that's
short.
really, yeah, the word that's really important that stuck out to me out of all of that. But for the listeners out there, the word that Jake said that really resonates with us, and I think with most of you out there, because we all think we're chasing money. We're not really chasing money. We're chasing autonomy. And
Yeah.
I think money will allow you to get the autonomy. And the more autonomy you have, ultimately, the more money you make, which is just so counterintuitive. And that's just how life really is. So as you're listening to this, have you had an epiphany moment? Go back to it because that epiphany moment will really lock you into your sole purpose, into why you're doing this. This is why I'm doing Jake and Gino, because it was really part of my epiphany. I wanted to give back. I got into coaching. I got into real estate, ultimately for giving back. And that was my epiphany. And every time I'm having a rough day like today, trying to get this damn computer on and trying to get tech working, I go back to it and I try to say to myself, well, why are we doing this? My epiphany was I could be stuck in the restaurant right now washing dishes, or I can deal with the problems I have today and create that impact. So go back, everybody. What was your epiphany? And if you don't have one, you haven't had one, maybe you have to stop and think, well, my situation is this way. What do I want to achieve? What do I want to do? And that book, T. Harv Eker, was really huge for me. My next one, obviously the epiphanies kept coming for me. The fire at the restaurant. That fire at the restaurant changed my trajectory of my life forever because it still took me another year to get serious about it. That pushed me into, okay, now it's time to take massive action. I can't wait anymore. Jake's moving down to Tennessee. Let's start working. And it still took us 18 months